Hello and welcome back to the LunchCast.
Hello.
We're joined again today with Dominick.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
That's dude.
So, our first topic today, or only topic, is sports memories. So obviously we were in a lot of sports, middle school and so far in high school. So, do you have like sports memories? Like any sports memories?
Plenty.
Lots of them.
You want to go first, Dominick, since you're the special guest, I guess?
Well, what year was that? Was that 8th grade or 7th grade?
Don't you know what you're talking about, Dominick?
I do. I just don't know what year it was.
We don't know what you're talking about.
Career Officer Geist.
Yeah, that was 7th grade.
So 7th grade year, it was almost the end of practice, and all the linemen came over from the practice field. And it was, same old. And then one of our lineman coaches comes over, and he kind of looks a little bit winded, I guess. I'm not sure how to put it. But, so, some of the linemen start to tell us that he had slipped on the sled and had gotten a bar in between his legs, and if you're not a guy, you don't know how that feels, but if you're a guy, you just cringe so much. So there's one of my stories. Caden.
Alright, well...
You have any funny cross-country stories?
Cross-country, not so much.
Oh.
I mean, it's fun, but there's really no funny incidents.
Yeah.
But a basketball one, there was 6th grade. That's when Caden's older brother, Caden, was coaching us. We were at the high school practicing over the summer. We had to run so much. We had to do laps around the gym and bear crawls and suicides, and Clayton, who's a bit of a mouth-eater person in the basketball room, I guess, he kept getting us in trouble, and we had to keep running.
Yeah.
Coach ran him so much that he had to run over to the trash can and threw up.
Wow.
He did that twice.
That coach still does it to us because he's our C-team coach.
Mm-hmm.
So, on Friday, so our practices are at an elementary school, if you don't know that, and we were waiting to get into the gym because they have archery practice in there before us. And so, as the kids were heading out, someone didn't watch their language and spat out a curse word on accident around one of the kids.
Probably
So-
Clayton.
Probably.
No, Clayton wasn't there.
Oh.
Although, yeah. We know that it wasn't me, Ethan, or Tristan, but anyways. And so the parent went out there, and the parent heard this, and so the parent went out there to our coach and said, "Hey, your kids shouldn't be cussing around my kid." And so we had to run and do bear crawls and stuff, and wall sits, and for half an hour to 45 minutes or something like that. I think it was more like half an hour.
You did walk sits for half an hour?
No, mixed. So, we did bear crawls for what seemed like forever, but was probably 10 minutes. 2 laps around the gym. It wouldn't have been 10 minutes.
And this is why I'm not in basketball.
Remember we had to do wall sits for 2.5 minutes? I think 7th or 8th grade.
For what?
I don't remember. You guys may not have been in basketball. at
Yeah,
the time.
I was only in basketball 8th grade.
Same.
Oh.
Well, and this year.
We had to do wall sits for 2.5 minutes straight. If anyone fell, the clock restarted.
Are you serious?
I think Colton fell. It's 10 seconds left. We're counting down, and he goes down, and they restart it. We're like, good lord!
Oh, I would have killed him.
The thighs are burning. He came over, and he would throw a basketball, over our heads. And he'd,
really?
chuck it, and he'd be like, you can't move. He hit me. He hit me right in the forehead.
Child abuse!
He'd come over and he'd set the basketball on your lap, and if it rolled back to you, you had to get up. If it rolled off, you had to go down further. He made sure that it was a perfect 90 angle. It sucked.
Wow. Well, I can remember in track last year, some of my favorite memories was definitely when we had to do ladder runs, which if you don't know what those are, it's like where you run a 100, then you walk a 100, then you run a 100, then you walk over 100. Or it might have been a 200. I can't.
But that was like in cold weather, so I was like.
No, not that time.
Oh.
It was like right towards the end of the season when it was starting to warm up, and everyone had to do it, including distance runners. And one of our good friends, Alex, was well, he's not the brightest of them, but he always makes us have a good laugh. So it was like starting to get that time where the flowers were starting to bloom and they were all coming up. So he grabs a dandelion from the side of the track and puts it right up on his ear, and we start running the 100 and it flies off, and he's like, "No, my dandelion!" So then we all started doing it, and then I wasn't running 100% because it was ladder runs and we usually don't, but he started whipping my butt with a dandelion.
He found one that was like as thick as a quarter.
Yeah.
It was a freaking mutant dandelion.
That hurt so bad.
And we all had dandelions in our ears just running.
Except for me, I wouldn't do it.
Lucky dandelion.
It was hilarious.
That was interesting.
In track, they made me do hurdles. And there's no 8th grade boys that did any 100 or 200 meter hurdles. And so one day I was lining up to do the 200s, and I took off. And I was in last, as usual, no big deal. I came up to the last hurdle, jumped right in front of it, stopped, stepped around it, and then finished.
Me and Derek were both up in the stands, and we just started to die laughing.
I can't even describe how he went around it. It was just the funniest.
So awkward. I was on the furthest thing inside, and so I stepped off the track and went around it and then finished.
You could tell that he was a distance runner.
As soon as we walked down to the field to talk to him, he said, "Nope." Oh, it was fun though. This year in football, some of my favorite memories definitely came from Brandon Fugate.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to tell the story of the onside?
The onside.
Mason onside.
Oh.
Getting it and running it.
Yes.
Was that at the middle school?
No, that was at high school.
He onsided it at the middle school game once, too. That was that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was a game. This was practice.
Brandon is a varsity player.
Yeah. Brandon's
He's a senior.
Oh, you're talking about... Oh.
Well,
I thought you said Mason.
Yeah, Mason, but okay, one day in practice, the Thursday practices, it's usually Thursday's the practice like where we go on the actual field and we play, like we practice kind of a light practice.
Yeah.
And it's basically the day before a game, so we all practice light.
So it's not too hard.
So usually before we start running plays, we do kickoffs and stuff. So coach had Mason do onside kick, which you guys don't know what that is. It's where the team kicks it and tries to get the ball back.
Kicks it about 10 yards
and
to the side.
Yeah. So Mason kicked it, and it went right to Brandon. And as soon as Brandon got it, he had an open lane right to the end zone. So he grabbed it, and he turns around and starts doing the loser sign to Mason. He's like, ah! It was... He
was so excited, too. That was great. And then when Mason accidentally did the onside in the Peru game and we got it, that was great. After that play, I went to the sideline and I was like, I didn't know that was an onside. He was like, it wasn't supposed to be. Oh.
Mason, that wasn't supposed to be an onside? Mason was so cocky about that play.
Well, he had to play it off as if it was on purpose.
He's like, did you guys see my onside? My onside was awesome. And it wasn't even supposed to be an onside.
They weren't expecting it at all. Well, we weren't even.
My stepdad predicted it. He's like, did you see that? I'm like, yeah. He's like, now watch. He's going to go to school and play it off as if it was on purpose.
Yep. And he
exactly what he did.
Yeah.
What about, like, 8th grade basketball? Where we were all three in it. Oh, when we beat Lakeland? Or Lakeview?
That's not even a highlight for me. I was thinking of the time we were doing, I can't remember what, I think it was like just like the 5-on-5 drill, half court drill.
Oh, yeah.
And this was when Tyler was still in.
Mm-hmm.
And
he would just shove you to the ground like, ah.
well, no, not even that, but the time he went up to try and get something, and somebody elbowed him or something, or like the ball hit him in the face.
Oh, yeah.
And he chipped his
Oh,
tooth. And he was just holding it the rest of the practice.
The rest of the practice, he's off to the side holding like...
He was like touching it.
It's like touching his tooth, touching the chip, touching his tooth.
Oh. I was pretty happy when he moved.
Mm.
He didn't do football this year for Manchester.
He did it?
Like, I looked at Manchester's football group photo. He wasn't in there, I don't think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I talked to Caden though. He said that he was in football.
Really?
He must have just missed picture day or something.
Maybe. Well, I mean, I didn't really look at it that great.
I feel like we have a lot of track ones that we're
We
missing.
do.
Yeah, like the lattes before
Yep.
home meets. Our school has this vending machine where they got like chocolate milk and stuff in it, and they had these little like chocolate lattes and frappes. So we would all, or they would take chocolate milk. I'd take like a frappe, and then for some reason every time we did it, all of us would get like a personal record in every event.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Well, you would. I would just get sick.
I think there was one match that I did that, and it was the only like home game that neither of my parents went to, and I placed in every event. I got like second in the 200 meter, first in the 100 meter hurdles, first in the mile, and third in the half mile.
Who was that against, though?
I don't remember. I think it was like Manchester.
Okay, I was going to say, Manchester's not that good.
And they have a tiny team. Because
They did not have a tiny team. They had a huge
But they had no hurdles or anyone in like my events.
Uh-oh.
So I got to place in everything. That's the one where I was doing the mile and I came down the last 100 meter stretch and I turned around backwards and did like the 3-point shot thing, and I finished the race backwards in first place with a personal record.
Yeah.
My favorite basketball game I can remember was the tournament at, I think it was Mechanical.
Mechanical. We never had one there.
Or
We had one at Crestview.
Crestview, that was what it was. But it was our last game of the day, and
Oh yeah, the
yeah. So he wasn't the skinniest of refs.
Yeah.
And like his face was purple by like halftime, and like I think it was like the third quarter or something. He just like started yelling, my time, and his face was like blue. That struck me funny.
He kept smacking the top of his head.
He's like,
time out! He walked over and he had like that rag that was wiping his face and drinking water.
And then didn't you see him walking out with like 2 Diet Cokes?
Yeah. All right, well, I think that is a good place to leave it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have an Instagram, Snapchat, our email is in the description. Everything's in the description. We even have Twitter down there too. So, yeah.
Stay tasty, my friends.
See ya.